on what it's like to be a spiritual healer. I get this question a lot and I get a few questions. And so I put together a few of the questions I think you guys want to know the answers to. Comment below if you have any questions of your own and I'll answer the ones that I see. But first question that I get a lot is, how did I first discover I was psychic? How did I first discover I had spiritual gifts or that I knew I was called to do this? I would have to say it really came to me. When I was young, around 4 years old, I had dreams. I could see entities. Um, I also know that I inherited these gifts through my family. Um, but I knew that I was a medium when I seen my aunt um, right outside of her funeral, her spirit, and she was supposed to be dead. Okay, and I was around like 5, 4. So I knew I was a medium around then, but it wasn't until I became older that I knew that I had gifts. It was right around 24th birthday I started to understand my gifts and use them to help heal others. Um, what's a moment in my journey that completely shifted how I view my abilities? I think when I would test my intuition and test my gifts and I would write them down and timestamp them, and maybe months or years go by and it would be accurate. That's when I started to really understand my abilities, trust my abilities, and allow myself to be led by spirit. And that's when things got good. Yes, that's when things got a lot better. I could trust my own intuition and I could trust the downloads that I was getting. Can I describe what it's like when I am reading for someone energetically? Hmm. I am clairvoyant and claircognizant, or claircognient. I think that's how you say it. Basically, I have an ability to just know things, and I can hear the Holy Spirit say certain things. Sometimes I might hear it through music. I might hear it through the soft voice, my inner knowing. When I'm reading someone's energy, I'm really looking at their energy field, like the aura around them and their eyes. 100% their eyes. I'm always looking at their eyes. Like, hmm. And I read the words they choose, the emotions they pick to describe how they're feeling when I'm in a reading. Yeah, that's how I would say. Like, I use all of my senses and I will get intuitive nudges, sometimes numbers or phrases will stand out. Hi, baby, make sure you're subscribed. I also get visual imagery, like a movie that will play in my third eye of a scenario or situation. Sometimes I'll get a story to share with someone during a reading that relates to the situation they're going to, or a personal experience that I went through. Or I'll channel a relative through a visual memory that I have no idea that was never in my brain. What's the most rewarding part of being a spiritual healer? Seeing my clients transform. 100%. I love seeing people really get the work done. Get the work done. And you cannot go over or under, you have to go through it. And I'm so excited to hold your hand and lead you through that experience because I didn't have many people to do that with. So I love being able to share that experience with someone else and lead them in their spiritual journey to clarity and understanding. And most importantly, powerful transformation. Nothing better. What's the hardest, most challenging part emotionally or energetically doing spiritual healing? Hmm. What do you guys think? Comment below what you think is the hardest, most challenging part emotionally or energetically. Well, I would definitely have to say creating space for energetic boundaries. It's probably one of the hardest parts I had to learn so far. I've been doing this so far about 5 years, and I've had to really beef up my spiritual practices and protection and learn how to protect my mind and my spirit and my soul, and most importantly, my relationship with God, because people judge and they have their own perceptions of what I do. And most importantly, I've had to learn that this is not their platform. This is not their space. This is God given space that God has given me to share my healing ability, okay, that God has blessed me with. So I just truly am grateful for that. And that gratitude in itself is a form of protection. Knowing that I was chosen to do this is a form of protection. And I've had to learn that the hard way. A lot of people get addicted to healing ability, healing energy. Jesus talked about that in the Bible, where he experienced um, people pulling from his healing energy just through touching his garment. You know, he could heal people with his hands, he could bring people back from the dead. Like, Jesus was the definition of a spiritual healer. And more than importantly, I look to him on how to protect my energy and my frequency. And he wasn't for no games, honey. So it's a lot of speaking, because there's power in the tongue, over your life and other people's projections of what I do, when really they're just a fan and they're trying to figure out how to do what I do. So I would say that's the hardest part, is creating energetic space and boundaries, knowing that I was born to do this. That has been one of the hardest things, is just like coming into acceptance of that and not being in the spiritual closet. Not allowing people to push my gifts into a spiritual box or demonize my practice, but really stand in my light and my gifts, because that's what God put me here to do, you know? And who am I not to stand in my light? Because you can't hide a light. Okay, you cannot hide the light. Okay, it's inconvenient. Have you ever had a reading go wrong or differently than expected? Oh, darling, how did you handle it? That's a good question. Yes, I think most of my readings, I don't have any expectation on how they're going to go. Okay, most of my readings, I am just trying to bless someone, you know. That's really what I'm focused on. And the truth will always come out. The truth will always come out because God uses me as a vessel. So the only thing that really bothers me is like when I have to say something that God wants me to say that may be difficult for that person to hear, because it can trigger them into healing. And a lot of people will show up to this experience, to my readings, expecting the fluffy and the cute, and the and try to project what they expect this experience to be. And I just I really just I have to remind them who I am. I have to remind them that I am here to heal and to teach. I'm not here to be a mama. Okay. I'm not. I'm all about the honest truth and being a vessel for God. And so I think where things go wrong is when people assume that it's going to be fluffy and cute, and they get in the reading with me and it's like, oh no, honey, she's really giving me the tea. She really knows what she's talking about. Right. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I have to really be the deliverer of truth. I've had some readings with, like, this is why I don't do readings with relatives anymore. I've had some readings where um a relative can't separate the channel from the emotional relationship we have. And so I've had to create those special boundaries and spaces, but also deliver the message with responsibility. This is not an easy job, but I love it. I love helping my clients transform and heal, but things get challenging, darling. Baby, things get challenging. I know I make it look cute and I make it look easy, but things get challenging. Okay. How can someone tell if they're ready for a reading or a spiritual coaching? I think you need to be called to it. I think you need to be ready to do the work. Okay. I'm not a therapist, I am a healer. That means I'm here to help you and guide you in the experience of transforming your life. But you have to take responsibility and accountability for the work, and that's what I love about some of my loyal clients is, like, they're ready to do the work. They've been ready to do the work. They're if there's a journal assignment, if there's a self-care exercise, they're ready to do it. And that's what I look for in my clients when I'm choosing clients, because it's a choice to walk with you and commit to your spiritual journey. This is not just like some quick little tarot reading cards. I'm a spiritual healer, honey. I'm here to actually help you transform. I committed to this and my life purpose, my journey, and it's bigger than me. Okay, it's bigger than me. And so you got to feel called to it. You got to be ready to put in the work, and it's got to be a relationship, you know? So, most importantly, yeah, y'all see my mic. I like to keep the illusion. Anyways, next question. What kinds of transformations have I seen in people after working with them? Wow. Well, I've worked with some celebrities in a multitude of different ways. I won't say it because I respect privacy. I've done some readings for some celebrities, seen their career transform. I've worked with clients on a personal level with trauma, ancestral healing, and I like to see the work over time and how people just take responsibility for their life, because it's really not about me, honestly. It's about the jump starting of your spiritual commitment. Someone really to hold you accountable for the work that you really already have committed to doing in your past life. I'm just here to remind you. And so I love to see how my clients receive my readings, because I give it and they really do take it in. They take notes. So just seeing how my advice has helped transform people's lives and being a channel for goodness, a channel for healing has been so amazing. A source for people to learn, uh, their spiritual walk and how to connect with God in their own unique way. Like that, that's why I do it, baby. To just see bless one being, bless one being. If someone is skeptical about spiritual healing, what would you say to help them understand its power? I would say you trust your doctor and you don't know where they went to school. I would say, you know, there's something bigger than you and it wants to see you win. And there is a spirit that is within you, inside of you, that wants to be loved by something bigger than you. And I believe that when you tap into that relationship with something bigger than you, your life becomes more abundant. And the materialistic things that you want draw from for pleasure and enjoyment will be minuscule, and you'll really gain value in committing to your spiritual devotion. My life, I completely focused on merit, and salary, and gains, and goals, and trying to be something that I wasn't. And when I developed my relationship with spirit, I really understood who I really was called to be. Life really started to get good. And I replaced money with joy and goals and career goals and financial goals with abundance. So there are better gifts in store for you that are bigger than money can buy when you commit to your spiritual journey. I just have to say that. Have I experienced a sign, synchronicity, or miracle I couldn't explain? Oh my goodness. Yes, getting this apartment, moving to Los Angeles, going to college, graduating from college. A lot of you don't know my journey started off very difficult. I grew up in poverty and was able to transform my entire generational legacy by being the first in my family to go to college. Like that was a miracle. And God told me in a very, very difficult place that it was possible. And I didn't believe that. So I'm very grateful to just be able to use my gifts, because there was a place where I didn't understand them. And I think that's a miracle to understand them, to have a divine connection is a miracle, because most people will never wake up to their gifts. Most people will never see God in the numbers, in the music, in the colors, in the sounds, in the smells, in the vibrations. And I do. I get to do that. And I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to be able to have this platform to exercise my gifts. And so every day I get downloads from God that are not expected. Okay, when I lose something and I pray and I find it, that's a miracle to me, honey. How do people book a reading with me and what can they expect? Well, you can click the link in my bio, of course. It will take you to my website. There, you can click on um, a button. It's probably the first button that comes up, and it will direct you to my calendar where you can see an open slot to book a reading. But before you do that, I want you to look through my terms and conditions, because I do have values that I strictly uphold and rules that I have on my reading experience. It's about integrity to me. It's about honesty. It's about being a truth for God. Because when I start lying, then I start losing. You get me? So understand that I'm a very honest reader, but I'm very intuitive, I'm very loving, I'm going to really give you the tools to transform your life. But it's up to you to take the next step. It's up to you to use the tools. So I'm not a fluffy reader. I'm not a tarot reader. I'm a spiritual healer. I'm a child of God. I heal people based on what I see they need, whether that be inner child healing, whether that be astrology, whether if you do want a tarot reading or oracle reading, I can use those tools. But most importantly, we're going to create actionable steps for your healing journey so you can connect better with divine, connect better with your inner self, your inner child, your creativity, your abundant mindset, ancestral healing, baby, because it starts with you. I'm the healer when you're ready to take it to the top, when you're ready to take it to the next level. That's when you book your reading, honey. Okay, when you're ready to take your energy up, when you've been working on your spiritual gifts and you're like, I see something in her that I want to learn, baby, click the button. You know how to get to it. All right. And lastly, what's one piece of advice or guidance that I want to give to everyone watching today? Go with the flow. This relationship with divine is fluid. Okay, divine is here to be with you through every moment in life. Don't be afraid to get ugly with God. God has seen me in every state of being, and He loves me every single state. And because of that, I don't have to get fresh with God. I don't have to dress up for God. I just have to be myself and release. That's a part of the flow. Is like once you learn, that was the hardest part for me, honey, was learning to release my burdens to God and learning to trust God and flow in our relationship is like one of the best advice that I can give you. Just like flow. Stop resisting the call. You're about to get a call. Okay. But stop resisting the call to your life purpose, to your life path, whatever keeps waking you up at night, whatever you feel like you're cheating on to do your day job, tap in and let it flow and allow for abundance to come to you. Allow for blessings to come to you. But be prepared for what you will do when the opportunity knocks on your door. Because a lot of people are so worried about how that they're not prepared for when. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Hey, God bless you guys on this wonderful, whenever you're watching this, okay? And make sure you sign up for my e-newsletter. It's really popping. It's really a vibe. The Healer Heart community is transforming, baby. And if you have questions, comment below. Yes. All right, God bless you guys. See you next time. Make sure you subscribe. Come on now. Okay. Just checking.